Hello, BookTube. I thought it's time to do a wrap up for the month of May. That's what month we're in. I can't remember. And talk about the books I read during May. So I read a handful, just a sliver, and let's start talking about them. Just quick, going through them. The first things I read for May were Nora Roberts. Of course, I read my Nora Roberts, monthly, of course. I read the Born In series. I think that's what it's called, like Born in Fire, Born in Ice, and Born in Shame. And these books sucked. They were so bad. Just dated 90s um, romances in a way that I just don't like from Nora. I'm realizing the more I go back to like her category romance days and even her less contemporary romances, I just don't care for. Their characters are so lame. The leading men are so gross and assertive in a way that I just don't like. I'm starting to realize, but yeah, I just didn't like them at all. Skip them, skip. Born in Fire was decent, but they're just lame 90s contemporary romances. They're not that exciting, to be honest, to talk about. And after that, I've read Chosen Land by Matthew Avery Sutton. Best book of the year so far in terms of new releases, in my opinion. This is a history of Christianity and the church in America. And it's just so beautifully done for a book that's kind of so short to tackle such a big history, but it done it so well. I was gagged by how effortless it was, really. I feel like, Matthew wasted no time. It's so condensed and so just punchy, and I loved it so much. If you're interested in religion like that, go check it out because it's incredible. I actually really loved it. I have a copy of it on my shelf somewhere. And then I also read The Daisy Chain Flower Shop by Laura Gilmore. I done the whole Dream series, Harbor series last month just to anticipate this new release, and it really wasn't worth it because I didn't like The Daisy Chain Flower Shop. I don't really like a marriage of convenience or something like that when it's there to for one of the people in the couple to impress a family member. Like, that's so lame to do a marriage of convenience. It does that. I don't like that trope really when it's used like that. But yeah, it's not the best in the series. I still think the oh my god, what's it called? I can't remember which one. The second one. I think it's the pumpkin spice. I don't think that's the one I'm thinking about. But the second book in that series is the best. If you're gonna do one of those. But yeah, the Daisy Chain Flower Shop was a bit of a letdown for me. And then I done just some random political books. Where It All Went Wrong: The Case Against John Howard by Amy Remix. I think that's how you say it. John Howard was a prime minister in Australia from like the late 90s to the mid 2000s, pretty much. And it's pretty much just a case, just jab after jab of pretty much exposing Howard for privatizing everything and pretty much all that stuff. I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I pretty much agree with what Amy has to say, so that kind of helps. But I feel like it kind of gets a bit too wordy at certain points, especially when it goes into like the more economic side of Howard's policies that kind of doomed him compared to Kevin Rudd at the time. But I absolutely really thought this was interesting. Go pick it up if you want to learn more about John Howard. Then I done Bring Back Yesterday on Losing Love of the Love of My Life and Processing That by Bob Carr. Bob Carr was a politician in Australia at federal level. Really interesting figure, but this is a book about, it's very slim, and it's about losing his wife who died a couple of years back and just how he processed that. Really short, but again, really punchy and impactful. One of the best books of the year so far for me. It's a lot, to be honest, but I really loved it. And I read Pneumatic Echidna by Danielle Clode. She done the big book about koalas, which is iconic. Just as great as her book on koalas. Echidnas are so strange and interesting. It's incredible. If you want a book about an echidna, go do that one. And I've done some hay of it, everyone knows that. I done new releases randomly. I'm still on to that. John of John by Douglas Stewart. Not my favorite Douglas Stewart. I was a bit let down by it, to be honest, because I really like Shuggy Bane and Young Mungo and all that, but I feel like John of John, the plot's still, I think, really solid, but I feel like he's starting to get too safe, especially because there's so many convenient things that happen in this book which wouldn't have happened in his first two, especially when it comes to the main character's dad and the jobs he has. Like, I feel like John needs to kind of shake. No, not John. Douglas. Feels like I feel like he needs to shake it up a bit because they're kind of the three of the same books, but I still eat it up every time. But I feel like it just wasn't as gut punching, as intense, and I think again because there were certain points of the plot that were convenient for the main character, that I don't think would have been in his first two novels. But it was still really solid. It'll probably make an honorable mention for best books of the year, but we'll see where it goes. Then I read two Catherine Center books. New to me author. I think I've read her probably years and years ago, but I can't remember. I done the Rom-Commers and then her newer release, The Shippers. I really love the Rom-Commers. It's a very interesting romance, at least I think it is. Wild plots, like compared to a lot of the other girlies writing category, not category, oh my god, contemporary romance today, like your Emily Henrys and all that. Kathleen's just very different. Kind of like Nora in terms of giving her characters really interesting jobs that really stand out, especially in the rom-commers where it's like writers for, I think it was a TV show, I can't remember exactly, but again really interesting. Shippers was a bit more mid. It was kind of like close proximity on a cruise, and it kind of just didn't work for me as much as some of the other books I read from her. But then I moved on to Elsie Silver. Now I've always had a really weird relationship with Elsie because I've never liked anything she's written. This was probably the third book I've done from her. The last two I done were from her last series with like the pastel covers, and I didn't like them at all. And Fever Dream just really didn't. I didn't like it at all. It has like it's like a western, like ranchy style reality TV show plot, which I just have never liked. I've never liked a romance with a reality TV show plot. And this didn't help that at all. I didn't like it. What else happened? The spice was like non-existent. It literally didn't happen until like 70%. Like the book was nearly over, and then all of a sudden it's like bam, like 6 times. So I'm like, at least calm down. Like it was wild. But I'm still waiting to find an Elise book I like. I still haven't checked out the main series she's known for, but I probably will at some point just out of morbid curiosity. But yeah, Fever Dream was, again, a real letdown for me. And I'm still waiting for that Elise book. And I done a real surprise for me was Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood. This was not one of, I think, a novella she released like last year or something. Not one of her main releases, but this is Ali doing paranormal vampires, and take my money. Me and Ali, I've read all of Ali's novels, and I've done the majority of her short stories and novellas. There's only a couple that I haven't done. But Hot for Slayer, Ali doing vampires, it was perfect. It was literally so good. It is Ali breaking down vampire tropes and poking fun at them. It's just so perfect. It's literally not even 100 pages. It's really great for Ali Hazelwood. I would honestly say this is her best book, pretty much. The only ones I think are kind of better-ish are like Bride, sorry, we don't talk about Mate. Bride, and obviously The Love Hypothesis too. I think those better represent Ali, but Hot for Slayer was like really unexpectedly good for Ali. I actually really enjoyed it. If it came out physically, I actually kind of would buy it, to be honest. But Ali having a surprise novella that I really enjoyed. Oh my god, like I haven't enjoyed an Ali Hazelwood novel since, Bride, literally, which was only a couple years ago, but still. And I'm like, oh my god, Ali's impressing me. I was kind of surprised because I don't know, I have such an interesting relationship with Ali. I am waiting for the day she goes just full paranormal. That will be, oh my god, I can't tell you how much I'll love that. Her writing suits paranormal romance so much better than contemporary, let alone when she tries to do sport or whatever problematic summer romance was trying to be, or I can't remember, Not in Love, and I'm really struggling with the names right now. Or like the YA one with like Checkmate, that was awful. But yeah, Ali doing paranormal just suits her so well, and I know my theory is she's putting her toes into a lot of different types of romances to see what sticks and what doesn't with people, but paranormal, she just rocks, and I feel like she will keep on going down that paranormal road, but and I will be there waiting for her because I can't wait. If she does more, of course. And then I read some Julia Quinn because I thought, why not try and read all of Julia Quinn's novels? Like, why not? And so I started, because I've only done Bridgerton. So I started going back to her first series, Splendid, Dancing at Midnight, and Minx. I can't remember what the trilogy's name's called, but oh my god, they were so bad. They were so like lame, and I was kind of like, oh my god, Julia, what happened? Like, and these are interesting because they are her debuts, and it's kind of interesting because Julia Quinn, I think, could really pass as like a bodice ripper type of romance writer, especially again historical, of course, but especially when it comes to like the sex and like the type of brooding man and the real dubious consent she has in these three books, and like it's just her leading men are so like broody and gross in a way that bodice rippers tend to be, and I love bodice rippers, but it was really interesting to see where she started and the leaps and bounds and qualities she would make only a couple of years till we get Bridgerton, of course. There's I think another duology that I want to do of Julia's before I think we get to Bridgerton. I don't know how many books there are between her first trilogy and Bridgerton, but yeah, these books suck. They were so dated and lame. I think I like Dancing at Midnight the best just because it had like a traumatized soldier, afraid to love anymore, like giving up on love. I love that trope so much, but I feel like if you're going to do that type of giving up on love when it comes to a leading man, I feel like he can't be an asshole. He has to be like reserved and quiet, and it just suits that type of man more than the brutish, I'm gonna go and just grope her in her carriage and all that stuff. Like that's, I don't know why. I just have trouble with that. But yeah, it's interesting to see where Julia Quinn started. I will happily keep going, but these were just too dated for my taste, even for me who has the reading taste of an old lady. So yeah, I done some Julia Quinn. Look at me. And then the last two things I read was Mansfield Park, of course, for Mama Needs to Read Romance, her book club of doing a Jane Austen book every second month. And this was a reread for me. I haven't read Mansfield Park since I was a teen, and I've always been a defender of Mansfield Park. I think it's such an underrated novel. I know it's not similar to other Austen novels. Fanny Price is such a quieter heroine, especially compared to Emma or even Elizabeth or whoever. I really love it. I think it's a really interesting novel. I feel like there's so much more going on in terms of the themes of like slavery and religion. I love Edmund. There is some stuff I wouldn't like about him that's a bit red flaggy, but I just think I don't know. I've always just had a soft spot for Mansfield Park. Again, it's really different to other Austen novels. I think it kind of stands out in the same way that Northanger Abbey does, because that one's a bit more of a lighter, earlier novel, where Mansfield Park is just Fanny Price may as well not even be the main star of the show. She's really like the heroine that takes the back seat pretty much. But I will always defend Mansfield Park. This reread just confirmed it. It honestly, in terms of ranking Austen's novels right now, it honestly could be a top 3 novel. I know that's very shocking because my top 3 has always been Persuasion, Emma, although Emma may be my favorite Austen, but Persuasion, Emma, and what was the other one? I literally forgot. I can't remember. But yeah, Persuasion, Emma, and Mansfield Park. Those have always been my top 3. But I could see it moving up a bit. I don't know what it will take down. Maybe Persuasion. I don't know, because Persuasion was always my favorite. But I really just don't know. And I need to process this a bit more, especially when I get to the other Austen novels later in the year. But I will always defend Mansfield Park. I think it's an incredible novel. But again, it is quite different to Austen's other novels too. So, yeah, I love Mansfield Park. And then the last thing I read for May was Much Ado About Nothing. I read it with Joshua Crebo for a big year long of reading all of Shakespeare. And what do you want me to say? Like, there's certain Shakespeare plays where I'm like, what do you want me to say? It's Much Ado About Nothing. It's literally predicted like romance tropes before romance was even a thing. Beatrice and Benedict are just genuinely incredible together. The chemistry, I can't even tell you how much I love Much Ado. It probably is my favorite Shakespeare play. It's always been Much Ado or The Tempest or Measure for Measure. Those have always been my top three, but I don't know where it would rank, especially when I go back to the other ones. But what do you mean to say about Much Ado? It's so light and so funny. You can see how generations of romance authors have read this play and borrowed from it. It set the scene. It walked so all these other romance authors could run. Like, it's kind of scary when you think about it in terms of its influence, but I love everything about this play. The minor characters are great. You can't go wrong. Go read Much Ado About Nothing or watch it. I haven't watched it, but I really would love to watch it one day. And that's so pretty much what I read outside of Georgia Hayes. So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of new releases, a lot of letdowns, but that's okay. And let's talk about what I'm reading in June, because June's going to be a packed month because of my changes to Heya Time, and that I'm going to be doing and posting a like Heya Time, Georgia Heya, talking about her novels daily, so it's going to be a lot for 20-ish days, but I can do that. It's nothing. In terms of June on the Range, because this will be my second year joining in, even though I've been watching videos since the very start. I remember when this event got started, which makes you feel so old when you look at how long June on the Range has been going on for. But my main read for June on the Range pretty much is going to be Sweet Savage Love by Rosemary Rogers. I've never read her. She's literally one of the OG bodice ripper girlies. I haven't read her, and I really want to. I literally know nothing about Sweet Savage Love besides it's a Western. The main girl gets kidnapped and assaulted, and that's literally it. And it's really long, and that's literally all I know. I can't wait to do it. And yeah, that's pretty much my main one I want to do. I also want to finish the Texas series by, I don't know what it's called, Lorraine Heath, because I done Texas Destiny a year ago, and I absolutely adored it, and I never finished the series. So I want to do Texas Glory and Texas Splendor by Lorraine Heath too, just to finish off that trilogy. And I also want to do a Nora Roberts, because Nora only wrote one Western novel, and that was called Lawless. It is an older Nora Roberts, like 30-ish years old, so we'll see how we go. It is a bit shorter too, so I can't wait to get to that. And also for my standalone Nora thriller for the month, I'm going to do Night Work, just because why not? I love a heist in a Nora book, and I want to see how I go with this one. And that's pretty much my plan for June, really. I do actually have some new releases that I forgot to put in here. I'll grab out my list. Because June's also going to be a packed year for new releases. I want to do the Unicorn Hunters. I didn't write the name of these authors, I'm so sorry. Lands by Maggie O'Farrell comes out on my birthday, which was kind of cool. The Open Era by Edward Schmidt, which is a new, I think, gay tennis book, which I want to try to debut. The Open Era by Edward, no, not that one. Harvest Season by Brian Weaver on the 9th of June I want to do. My Boyfriend is a Swamp Monster, Take My Money. And then You Had Me at Heist by Christina Britton also comes out. And I love Christina. I've had nothing but great books from her, so I can't wait to get to those. And so those are some new releases I'll be looking out. I've got my June on the Range, I've got my Georgia Hare ready to go, and also some Shakespeare with Josh too. So it's a full plate, but I'm very excited, and I can't wait to start reading these books. And yeah, let me know what you think about the books I've mentioned today. And thank you so much for watching BookTube, and I will see you next time.